Byron, thank you so much for joining us today to share your encounter story about evangelism. You were sharing with me that about 17 years ago, you had your first encounter. Would you mind sharing what that was like?
Oh, no, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I grew up in a non-Christian family where I used to practice different religions like Buddhism and Confucianism. And when I went to school at McMaster, I was led to Christian faith by a group of just brothers who were just eager to share Jesus with me. And I was very skeptical about Christianity in general, but those who led me to Christ and Christian faith eventually brought me under their wings and started just meeting me every week to just talk about Jesus with me. And then there was one time when we did a Bible study in the winter, and one of the brothers did this prayer, which I will never forget. And he said, and in his prayer, he said like this. He said, "This is the best moment of my life. I get to share Jesus with my friend here." And that really broke my heart. And really opened up my heart to receive Jesus Christ as Savior and Lord. And then what happened afterwards is then these brothers who took me under their wings started saying like, "Byron, you gotta go and share Jesus with us." And I was trying to avoid it. I tried to come up with every excuse I had to not go into evangelism or share Jesus. And I started telling them like, I'm not sharing Jesus because I have all this school stuff I had to do. The real reason why I didn't share Jesus on campus to students, it's because I had a fear. I had a fear of rejection from my childhood, where I had a trauma of being rejected from my friends. But there was this time when I was stuck in the library trying to, I guess, study for my exam. One of the brothers who led me to Christ like dragged me out to cafeteria and started telling me, "Byron, you are going to share Jesus with me today." And I kept avoiding it. I kept saying like, "I'm busy," but he was very persistent, or in a way very stubborn. But he waited an hour and a half until I make that one approach. And after an hour and a half, I made my first approach to a random student on campus who I never met, and I asked him the simple question, "Do you have 10 minutes? I can share Jesus with you." And his response was no. And as soon as he said no, I thought I would go under the blanket and start screaming, but I had this joy. I believe, that was coming from the Spirit saying, "Byron, you are at least obedient to my calling here." I had the greatest joy I've never experienced in my life. And ever since then, I just fell in love with evangelism, that I started sharing Jesus every week on campus until I graduated.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So you still do this today though. So would you give us a little glimpse of how you go out and share, and what are some of the practices that you do to help you maybe with that same fear, or to give you the confidence to go out and do that?
Yeah, so when you go out in the harvest to share Jesus, you just have no idea what's going to happen. But I just simply believe that there are people who are out in the harvest that God has prepared, and that they are ready to receive Jesus even now. And believe or not, and I do believe this in personally, that there are people who are ready to receive Jesus through this method.
That's fantastic. And you just have the courage to go out and find the one.
That's it, until I find the one.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and I wish you, I pray for you to have much success in the harvest.
Thank you so much.